What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast. Welcome to 2026, the first show of 2026. And it's going to be an interesting one, as of course, we have the NFL playoffs kicking off this weekend. We're here to talk about that. But before we get into that, let's get through some of the pleasantries. I'm here on the Check Swing Podcast is with myself and, of course, the brains and brawn of the whole situation, my man, Coach Miguel down in Indeed now. Or you couldn't hear it?
Not at all.
Well, let's try it again. I don't know why you couldn't hear it, but let's try it again. Here we go. With Coach Sandra down in, I almost said it, down in, did you hear it that time either? You couldn't hear it that time either.
It sounds like she's in your basement.
Here we go. You know what? I think I know what happened. Let me bear with me for a second.
Did you leave it in 2025?
I did.
Dadgummit.
So here's what we're gonna do. Yep, that's exactly what happened. And
This first technical glitch is brought
there,
to
there
you.
we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Now, like I said, Coach Sandra down in
Baltimore having big fun.
there it is. There it is. I know we get to it eventually. We better tell people where you are eventually. But right now, of course, the Sixers are playing. Of course, I got an eye on that. They've been playing well. They lost the game they shouldn't have the other night. But before we get into the real meat and potatoes of the show, Miguel,
Sir.
how you been?
I will say that the transition from 2025 to 2026 has been great. Very good. Spending time with good people, family, new friends, all that good stuff. There's two things I'm grateful for so far in 2026. Number one, this morning I got my knee injection, so I feel like a kung fu freaking fighter. I feel like I can now run one entire block. And now, back on December 22nd, we welcomed my second granddaughter, and her name is Nyla Jones. She came in at a whopping, whoops. That's her playing in the future. She came in at a whopping 8 pounds. I have not seen her eyes yet because all she does is sleep. So
Life.
the life, you know what I mean? Her sister was funny because she went, you know how her sister is like a year and like 8 months or whatever. So of course she's like, "Look, baby," and she's like smacking it on the face, like, like, look how cute the baby is. So so yeah, grateful for this little bundle of joy who came in the week before Christmas.
Awesome. Congratulations to you and the family and all that good stuff. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. I look forward to seeing pictures as she grows up.
Not a problem. I'll be getting a bat in both of their hands in about 3 years.
You won't wait that long, huh?
Well, the other one, yeah, she's starting to swing already. She doesn't have a bat yet, so I'm gonna put a bat in her hand.
Cool. Well, look, it's a very exciting time here in the United States of America. Um, why is that? Because of course the NFL playoffs begin this week, and as opposed to previous years, excluding last year, uh, we get to see the Eagles play on Wild Card Weekend. We don't have to wait a week and watch other teams play. We get to see our team play on the first week of the playoffs. That's one way to look at it, right? Um, the other way to look at it, I'm not going to dwell on it too much because it's Wednesday. It's time to move forward. They could have had the 2 seed, and they still would have been playing this week, regardless. But they could have had the 2 seed and had a whole totally different matchup. But I kind of like the way it played out. It kind of played out the way the movie script intended. Okay, and no, I'm not making that claim, but you know, it's like a movie script. But Miguel, your thoughts real quick before we get into next week's game. Your thoughts on the Eagles not starting the starters and missing out on the second seed.
It's tough because it's like it's not the first time the Eagles have done this. You know what I mean? And I don't know that it'll necessarily cost them. Would you want the 2 seed and the possibility of playing 2 home games? Maybe, but I don't know. The way the Eagles win games, it doesn't. I don't know that it matters where they play. So, I think this past season has had so much turmoil in it that it just seems like every week is just something new to pick on. And then, we always know that there's a losing streak. You know what I mean? Then somebody wants to be traded or somebody wants to throw somebody else off a cliff or whatever. And then all of a sudden we come back and then what? We win the 3-4 in a row. Things are set. But there's always this constant thing. People are constantly like, it's like they're constantly trying to find things in the negative. It's like we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. The Cowboys are not. The Chiefs are not. You know what I mean? I think that's the bigger story is all these new quarterbacks going, that are up and coming. How many first-time playoff quarterbacks are there going to be just in this weekend?
We're actually going to get into that a little bit later on in the show. But of course, if you want to give us your thoughts on these things, on all these things that's going on in the playoffs and all like that, of course, you can hit us on the text line 484-606-6061, or you could just comment in the chat, in our regular chat. If you're on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook or whatever the case may be, comment in the chat. Your chat could be featured on the show. Talk about Eagles Niners, right? A couple years ago, this is a game that did not go the Eagles' way. Regular season. About a year before that, it did go the Eagles' way. It was like a body bag game for the Niners. I mean, they were on they were on their third string quarterback of the season in the playoffs, which was Josh Johnson, who just beat the Eagles last week. And then Josh Johnson got hurt. Actually, pretty seriously, come to find out. Didn't know how serious he was hurt. But he got hurt. They ended up putting Purdy back in the game. Y'all know the story. They put Purdy back in the game, but he couldn't throw. So all they could do was hand off the ball. Anyway. Brings us all the way to 2025, 2026, where the Eagles now have the 13th ranked defense. I didn't realize they were ranked that low. I thought they were ranked a little bit higher than that. I was surprised to see that they were the 13th ranked defense. And this is according to, as far as yards allowed. Okay. And this is according to ESPN. This is not, I think StatMuse had them at like 7th or something like that. Actually, I think I still have it open. Let me see. StatMuse had them at 7th. ESPN has them ranked at 13th. So I don't know, I had to look into that deeper to see what they're doing there. But anyway, to get back to it, the 49ers have the 20th ranked overall defense, while Philly has a bottom, not even bottom half, bottom third, bottom fourth ranked offense. And the Niners have the 7th ranked offense. Now, I don't see. This is not the Niners team with Deebo Samuel well, they just still have Christian McCaffrey, but they're not that what's my Brandon Ayuk. They don't have him right now. So This is not that same Niners team from a couple years ago. You got Joe. Is it Bosa? Is it Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa? We got one of them Bosa guys.
One of the bosses.
Fred Warner is it Fred Warner? He's out. So you're not seeing this team, but they're rolling. This is a team that was actually playing for the number one seed in the playoff, in the NFC playoff, just last week. They blew it, but they were playing for the number one seed. So you can't just look past them as they're some type of trash team. And I think a lot of people are, because it's the Niners and they had a poor season last year. But people don't realize, it seems, that they were actually playing for the number one seed. They could have been the number one ranked team and being on the bye right now. And we'd be talking about them playing the Eagles playing the Seahawks. But we're not. Miguel, your thoughts on the game and these rankings with the defense and the offense, and how you think this plays out?
Well, I think it plays out very well for the Eagles. One of the things that Shanahan is going to have problems with is one name. It's not anybody on offense. It's not anybody on defense. The name is Vic Fangio. Historically, he has dominated against Kyle Shanahan's offenses. Right now, he holds a 4. He's undefeated against Fangio since he's been our defensive coordinator. Since
he's undefeated against Shanahan.
Against Shanahan, yes. In the last 4 meetings, the 49ers have scored 9, 15, 6, and 11 points.
Wait, hold on. Go back to what you just said earlier. He's undefeated against Shanahan?
Yeah, since he became the Eagles defensive coordinator.
That was just last year, wasn't it?
No, he was I'm sorry, against Shanahan's offense, because he was the defensive coordinator against when he was with Miami.
Okay, gotcha.
So my apologies. Yeah, so he's 4-0 against Shanahan total, Eagles, Dolphins. So so he scored 9, 15, 6, and 11 points against the Eagles. And he actually tried to hire Fangio, Shanahan did, back in 2017. But he found Fangio's defense is incredibly difficult to crack, leading to low-scoring games, which is why he wanted him. So, but
that was smart move by him, trying to get Fangio. Can't beat him, join him.
Can't beat him, join him. So, but Fangio plays he has a stifling defense. He's good against. We always usually turn everything on in the playoffs. We usually play better defensively. I think there was another stat about Mitchell, our cornerback. I think he's only had like maybe a total of. It was some astronomical stat, like he's only had like 10 catches against him this season and like maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. So, when you have that, when we have one of the best corners in the game and, our other corner who's a very close second or third, you have a healthy defense finally. So, Jalen Carter's back. There's talk of Lane Johnson coming back soon. If not this game, then maybe the next. So I think it's all coming together for a nice little playoff run. But as far as the 49ers, I'm not terribly worried, other than the fact that they have been finding ways to win lately. But I just don't see him scoring a lot, if at all, against Fangio's defense.
Okay, hit us up 484-606-6061 if you want to hit us on our chat line. Also, of course, you can always hit us on the regular chat here on the show. Oops, I've accidentally pulled up the weather. Didn't mean to do that. But speaking of which, let me just, since I mentioned it, the weather that day, or actually the weather leading up to the game, is supposed to be raining Saturday and Sunday morning, probably till about 10 o'clock, maybe Sunday 6 o'clock. I don't know. Sometimes Sunday morning. I'm not Hurricane Schwartz, but do you think that has any effect on the game on either team? I mean, we got Christian McCaffrey, he's built on speed. Um, Shanahan's offenses tend to be centered around some type of speed, misdirection. Um, use your aggression against you. Um, excuse me. Then you have your Eagles offense. You know they're going to give Saquon the ball, power runner. But not little bit of speed, but there's his game is power and speed. So he's gonna have a little bit of an effect by that soft field. What's that, Bermuda grass? I forgot what it is, but I know they make a big deal out. I wouldn't even know the difference if it was sitting in my front yard. So I don't know.
My
But
dog, my
does
dog.
the weather have any effect on this game, Miguel? I mean, we know it did in Buffalo.
Did it though?
That low scoring game with those two offenses.
But I mean,
I feel like it. I feel like it had an effect. I mean, I felt
maybe
like it
I'm
had
privileged.
things. Not a major effect, but I do feel like there was some effect in that game.
Yeah, I just think our defense just. I mean, maybe it might have affected the fumble that they
I was
tried
gonna
to.
say Josh Allen probably doesn't fumble that ball if it's not raining that day. I mean, it was out. He was going to throw it, then he was trying to stop. And I want to think he's strong enough to be able to hold on to the ball on a pump fake. I mean, it wasn't a pump fake, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna factor too much because I think the Buffalo game was a frigid cold. And I don't know if this is gonna be a frigid cold on Saturday, but
I tell you what, the people that were working the sidelines for the game that work at the radio station, she was saying she watched the game later on when she got back to town. She watched the game, and she said the TV aspect had no, like, it couldn't touch what was really happening on the
right.
field. And some of the shots we saw in that game were, I mean, the water was, ooh, man,
Yeah.
it was coming down. It was coming down. I can remember playing in one football game like that. It was fun too. You kid, you like playing in that stuff as a kid.
Mhm.
So it was fun. Let's talk about something I came across today. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know it since I came across it today. It's probably been a thing since forever. Probably a thing at least since last year. Jalen Hurts, the only quarterback in NFL history. Let me say this again because I had to look it up because I didn't think it was true. Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback in NFL history with 10 or more passing touchdowns and 10 or more rushing touchdowns in the postseason. I said, wow. I said, not Michael Vick, not Russell Wilson, not Steve Young, not Steve McNair. Wow. And I started thinking Randall Cunningham, but later in his career, he wasn't running as much.
Well, and then the other thing, when the Eagles were in the playoffs under Buddy Ryan, they were always one and done with the team figured him out with the mush rush.
I was that, and then I was thinking about that season with Minnesota, where but he wasn't running the ball then.
He had Chris Carter. I always forget who were the other.
Randy Moss.
Moss was later, though. I thought.
Oh, that was Chris
he was
Carter.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and then he had Robert Smith in the backfield.
Yeah.
All he had to do was drop back and launch.
And that's all he did.
Yep.
And that team was fun to watch. I was so disappointed when they lost that NFC Championship game.
Down to a damn kicker.
Oh man. Speaking of which, real quick, off topic. Not off topic, but off topic of what we're supposed to.
Are you gonna do it to my Baltimore friends that are watching the show?
Yeah. But here's what I'm going to. I wish I should have. I wasn't thinking about it when I saw it, but I should have added the video to the show. Okay, there was a guy who was a Baltimore Ravens fan at the game on Sunday. And I believe he went live or he either went live or he was just recording on his phone as Baltimore was lining up to kick the field goal. And he was saying, "Look, we're going to watch Pittsburgh season end all together at the same time." And he turned around, didn't even watch it happen. He turned around to look at it, to see it. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers fans were cheering all around him. He the look on his face, and he couldn't believe it. I was, oh man. See, Miguel, that's why I'm not as much of a trash talker anymore. For moments like that. Can't handle them. Can't handle them. All right.
But can't put it on Lamar this year.
No.
I mean, I don't even think you could put it on him last year either, because if it wasn't for the drop by Andrews last year, and like
it's tough. It's tough losing those games the way they did, right? And I mean that from the John Harbaugh perspective, as we all know, he got fired. But it's like in a weird way, I compare it to the Sixers, and I compare it to Joel Embiid. I know you hate when I bring him up. I compare it to Joel Embiid.
It's apples and oranges.
You didn't even hear what I said yet. You haven't even heard what I said yet.
It's Tylenol versus crack cocaine. It's two totally different. You can't compare anything to Embiid. He's not a winner.
You haven't even heard what I said. I haven't even said it yet.
Go ahead.
I haven't even said it yet. Here's what I was going to say. I was going to say, in Baltimore, sometimes you can blame it on Lamar or something like that. I don't think you can blame it on the coach in any of those situations. Now, what I was going to say in Joel Embiid's situation, the Sixers situation, as far as losing in the playoffs, you can blame it on a whole hell of a lot of things, right? You really can. I blame coaches. I blame Embiid, whatever the case may be. My fault. I was looking at the game, and the team is huddled up, and there's a dude on the team that's just laying on the floor. I didn't know what was going on. He was just laying on the floor. He was getting stretched out. I didn't know what was going on. It was weird. But with Joel Embiid, it's sometimes he gets hurt because it was his fault, being out of shape, whatever the case. And sometimes he got hurt, and it wasn't his fault. Shouldn't have been on the floor. Somebody jumped on his leg. I don't know why I started laughing. His teammate's rockhead collides with his and breaks his face. The dude comes down with Bell's. I don't know how you get Bell's palsy, but I don't know if that affects you physically, but I don't know. But I say, there's always a blame, but the blame is not always the same. But somebody ends up being the fall guy.
Right.
In Baltimore situation ends up being John Harbaugh.
I was kind of. Go ahead.
I really don't feel like he was responsible for. I mean, you got the drop ball, you got the missed field goal, and all like that. But Baltimore has to they haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2012, and they want to get back. They're a proud franchise. They want to get back, but they got 3 Super Bowls.
In Baltimore, they have 2.
Just 2? I thought they had 3. Just 2?
The Colts had a Super Bowl as well. But
So Ravens is 2.
Ravens is 2, yeah.
Gotcha. I thought, okay, gotcha. That's right, because Ray Lewis was still on the team. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I think this was the wrong year to do it. But I also think too, 18 years is a long time for any coach.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there were 2 games where, if anybody wanted to talk about conspiracy, you probably could have picked up. There was one game, and I can't remember, it was maybe a couple of weeks ago, where they had the chance to get themselves in the win and to come close, get the score closer, or win the game, and they just did not run Derrick Henry at all, and there was never any explanation for it. And I thought it was going to happen again in this game because they had the good run back after they let up the touchdown to Pittsburgh, good run back to like the 50-yard line, and then they throw 3 straight times. And I'm like, what are you? You got all your timeouts. You have a minute left. Like, run the rock. Like, I just don't understand that. So then he throws that unbelievable pass, great catch to get them in the field goal range, to get them into to win the game, and then it came down to the kicker. But I just didn't. Those instances just make no sense to me, and it's happening like clockwork all the damn time. Like and I think that's why people hate the Eagles so much, because usually in a situation like that, they would run the rock and only pass when they have to, versus everybody else is just passing. I don't know why.
Do you think the inexplicable to us situations are more magnified in a situation where they're not winning, where they're not finishing the season successfully? I mean, because Baltimore was winning games, but they were not. They were not getting to the Super Bowl. They got the AFC Championship games, but they didn't get back to the Super Bowl. And I felt that does, because when a coach does well, they might do stupid things, but they may not get scrutinized for it because they're winning. Right. Like Nick Sirianni gets scrutinized for a lot of things, but he gets a pass because he's winning. Now, if he'll probably be scrutinized by these same things when they're losing, but they'll probably carry a lot heavier weight when they're not winning anymore. If that ever happens, hopefully it doesn't. Knock on wood.
Right. I don't. To me, things are getting more scrutinized, not because of wins and losses, but because of gambling. And I know I've kind of been harping on this, but it's like every time it almost seems like every time when something weird happens and there's like a little story that comes out about some guy that's upset that didn't win a bet or whatever. Not to say that kind of determines how a coach is going to call a game, but like when there's absolutely no other explanation, it's like, let me check what the line was saying, during the fourth quarter of that game. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to start doing that because of the whole gambling thing. And it's already hit basketball. It's hit baseball in a couple spots. Hockey, you already have a couple of band players. So it's like, it's just a matter of time before it obviously hits football. So I think that's, to me, more the here's the speculation versus a coach's decision,
I got you.
I've been watching a lot of conspiracy shows the last 2 weeks because I've had 3 weeks off, so I'm into conspiracy.
Well, the 49ers have to come into Philadelphia. They have to come into the atmosphere at the Link. All right. Is a lot of people tough place to play, and I've never played any sport on a professional level. I never came close. Right. But here's what I've never understood, and I probably couldn't understand it until I've been in the environment. Okay, I understand. I know people, but I've never understood why people feel like it's harder to play somewhere on the road because of the fans. Like, the fans can't do anything to you. They could, but they'll get in trouble, right? The fans can't do anything to you. When you're on the field, it's the 100 yards, it's the 94 feet, whatever it is, it's the 60 feet, 6 inches, whatever the dimensions of the hockey rink are. It's that. I just don't understand why, why is it so hard to play in the Link for an opposing team rather than maybe, I don't know, San Diego. Well, San Diego's all quiet. Let me not say San Diego. That don't even exist no more. Las Vegas or Dallas. Well, I know why Dallas is too big. I'm making my own excuses here. Houston. How about Houston? Like, they say Houston, hear about Houston being a tough place to play. Miami, Well, we know why. Jacksonville, Atlanta, Carolina.
Can I simplify it for you? Why is it so difficult to play in an East Coast city versus a West Coast city?
You're asking me why?
No, that should be your that's your question, right? Technically,
My
or I
question
mean
is
specifically
why
Philly,
is that
but
like a thing where the Niners have to come into the link and it's a tough place to play. Why is it a tough place to play?
because the media hypes up our nastiness or our perceived.
Well, yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying is from a play like a player will say it's a tough place to play.
Mhm.
Like, why as a player do you feel like that's a tough place to play?
So if you read some of the stories in the paper about some of the things that have been said to some players, you remember Eagles versus Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game that we could have won but lost at
Mhm.
home.
Yes.
Joe Juravicius had his wife had a miscarriage about 2 weeks before that game, and as you know, he was kind of the determining factor in that game. But during that game, they heckled him for that incident. It was a pretty nasty story.
He's a Penn State guy too.
Penn State guy, right? So it's like there's that, and of course everybody likes to do the Santa Claus thing because it's such an obvious thing. But players talk about that verbal abuse that they get from the sidelines, and the chance that you get. So that it is what it is.
I mean, like I said, I've never played on that level, any sport on that level, but
But you've been to games as a fan, so you know how that you've seen other fans. We've seen rabid fans.
So let me give you an example of where my mind is on this, and maybe it'll help you give me a better example of why I'm crazy. Okay, so you're in the outfield. I went to a Phillies Mets game one time, right? A while back. It was a while back. It was raining, so a lot of the seats were empty. So I was moving all around the stadium. This was at Citizens Bank, and I decided to go to the left field, right there at the wall,
Mhm.
and I'm heckling this dude. I'm talking all. I'm just, what I'm saying, I'm not being nasty enough, but I'm talking all types. You a bum, blah 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 blah. Are you to tell me, as a player that says it's tough to play in Citizens Bank Park, it's harder to catch a pop fly in Citizens Bank Park than it is in any other park in the United States of America because of the fans?
So, but now you're talking about the persona of the player or the athlete. How are they mentally tough? You know what I mean? It's just like when you have players that play for the other cities and actually play in Philadelphia. They find it hard to play here. I always think of a pitcher. Remember Andy Ashby?
Mhm.
So Andy Ashby came up with the Phillies, did okay in his beginning, and then he actually went out to San Diego and did very well. He wound up coming back to Philadelphia, and his ERA shot up by like 10 because he's not the type of player that can handle here. You know what I mean?
Well, let me address
Nambi Samawa, remember him?
let me address something. Well, yeah, I'll address that too.
He retired because of Philly
I'll
fans.
address that too.
Samawa.
So what I will say is I will believe a player that played in Philadelphia and left and said that Philly is a tough place to play because they're getting the full Monty, they're getting the full experience. They're getting the media, they're getting the crowd on a daily basis.
Mhm.
But for the Niners to come in here or the Blue Jays to come in here for a weekend, which is probably more of an experience than the Niners coming in. How tough is it? You're coming in for one game, you're getting out. Like, how tough is it really? Like if you play here, yeah, you're getting the media scrutiny, you're getting the radio, you're getting the fans on the street, you're getting the fans in the stands. You're getting that if you're a bum. If they love you, you're getting the love, and you love it in Philadelphia. I'll accept that. If you're coming in for one night, if you're coming in playing with the Chicago Bulls and say, man, it's tough to play in Philly. It's tough to play at what's the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
That's more telling of the athlete and how mentally tough he is or is not. You know what I mean? Because if there's a player that comes in and I mean, especially in football, because of the X's and O's of the thing, you're thinking about the play, you're watching defense, So you're in football, you're kind of trained to work with the noise. So yeah, I guess to your point, it does kind of make sense. Like it shouldn't be an issue, but it's more of the issue of when they come off the field and then they're on the sidelines and then they're hearing, "Oh, your mother's this and my father ate your da 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 da." It's that part. Can they handle those words? Now, if you see what happened in Detroit and Metcalf getting suspended for 2 games because of a Detroit fan, apparently, and he made up, allegedly he made up a story about him saying a racial slur when it wasn't really a racial slur. It was him calling him by his official legal name, and that set him off. So it's like right there, that's a sign more of mental issue, not mental, but like a maturity issue maybe, or he's just going through something.
What's DK Metcalf's name? If you don't know, don't look it up.
I have no idea. I just know I wanted him on the Eagles, and we had the chance to get him twice. Once in the draft and once when he was a free, or once when he was available via trade. But then we got AJ Brown, so all was well.
Yeah, we need him though. We got the other DK Metcalf.
Oh, real quick. I was on Instagram. A couple people have made comments. So, and I know who this is. A buddy of mine, coworker. He said Philly will have to establish a run early and often. Robert Saleh will try to frustrate Jalen Hurts. So, in my opinion, the Eagles have to establish the run to keep the Niners on their toes. This Dallas Cowboys fan who refuses to come on the show because, he's a fellow cockroach, simply says, "Bang, bang, Niners gang." So he's also a Yankees fan.
You're not allowed to say "Bang, bang, Niners gang" if you're a Cowboys fan.
Well, he's going to do it because he only follows like teams that are against the Eagles or.
Yeah, I was thinking about our Cowboys fan there. I was thinking about that person, and let me tell you why. Okay, can I tell you why?
Why?
Because there are, as far as yards per game average, there are many teams ahead of the Eagles offensively. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And many of them are teams that did not make the playoffs, like the Chiefs, the Saints. I'm going to read them off to you. Okay. And I'm going to read them in descending order. So right above the Eagles, you got the Saints, the Commanders, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, and the Cardinals. All of them did not make the playoffs. Then you have the Texans, number 1 defense, but they're in the playoffs. Then you have the Bengals, Ravens, they didn't make the playoffs. Packers made the playoffs. Falcons and Giants didn't make the playoffs. Chargers, Jaguars did. Broncos did. Colts did not. They just had a blow up of a season. Seahawks did. Now we're getting into the playoffs. The Seahawks made the playoffs. Niners made the playoffs. Bears made the playoffs. Detroit made the playoffs. Detroit did not make the playoffs. Detroit did not make the playoffs. Buffalo did. New England did. And LA did. And LA is the number 1 ranked team offensively as far as yards per game. The number 2 ranked team offensively as far as yards per game also did not make the playoffs. And it's the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2 ranked team offensively as far as yards per game. And didn't even come close to sniffing the playoffs.
I want you to listen to real close. Hold on.
I gotta kick myself in the butt real quick.
Oh.
Don't forget I told you not to sleep on them Cowboys this year. Go ahead. You have the floor.
So I want you to listen to something, okay? All right. I need you to listen real close. Just Those are all the Dallas Cowboys fans.
Yeah, that's usually what they sound like when
In January.
yeah. Yeah. Well, don't worry. Next year's y'all year.
Yep.
Y'all year. Y'all got it.
With your fifth defensive coordinator.
Let's move on real quick. Some quick storylines. The NFL, the playoffs have an interesting look to them this year. A lot of new quarterbacks, or a lot of young quarterbacks. I'm gonna say young quarterbacks. Okay, a lot of young quarterbacks. You got Bo Nix from the Broncos, Drake May with the Patriots, and they're the top seed, the 1-2 seed in the playoff. Okay, two teams. Well, last year the Patriots. You see the Patriots over the last couple of years. You had no reason to think that they would be in the playoffs this year. They're there. They are there. Okay, Bo Nix, Broncos. They were, they were formidable last year, but did not think they would be a top seed this year. They are. Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. He was with the Vikings last year. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are a top seed in the NFC and a 2 seed in the NFC. 1-2 again. Caleb Williams in his second year out of USC.
Hey.
Crazy thing is, I thought he was in his third year, but no, he's in his second year out of USC. And then you got names like what? Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, all in the playoffs. Are we seeing this turn, Miguel? Like, are we seeing like the
next generation of
the next
quarterback?
generation? I was going to say, are we seeing like the Peyton Manning and Brady's handing it off to the Josh Allens and the Matt Staffords and the I'm going to say the Jalen Hurts because damn Patrick Mahomes, forgot about him. But I'm going to say Jalen Hurts because he has a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I mean, like is this the new next generation? Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, Drake May, Caleb Williams? Is this?
I hope so because Aaron Rodgers is what 50 and Stafford is up there in age, but it's bound to happen sooner or later. The only difference between this era and the era of when Brady and Manning were coming up is the quality of my knees. So it's like it's gotta happen sometime. So
I mean, and the crazy thing is, it feels like it just happened, right? Because I mean, look, you had Jalen Daniels, rookie year last year, did a great job. Didn't have quite the season this year. And I would also like to say, I said I want to. They need to show me. They need to prove it to me this year. So I did tell you not to sleep on the Cowboys, but I also told you that the Commanders need to prove it to me this year.
Well, I'm getting RG3 vibes again with the quarterback with how they handled him because of him ending the season on injury when he was already in. Like, I don't understand what it is about DC and quarterbacks and not just being able to like have a medical staff to, if he needed to be out, he needed to be out. Like
DC has a very proud fan base.
Right.
Sure, I'm sure you're learning that firsthand in a sense. I mean, I mean, you're in Baltimore, so it's a little different, but
no, they're Lamar or nothing here. So
yeah, so it's a little. You're 45 minutes away from that passionate fan base in Washington.
Technically, Landover, Maryland, soon to be back in Washington at the Trump Dome. Is going to be they already signed off on redoing the RFK Stadium. They're actually tearing it down and rebuilding it. And
okay.
Because the downside to it is that them being in Landover, and I passed by the stadium. The stadium looks atrocious. Landover.
RFK.
No. Whatever the FedEx Field that they play.
FedEx Field.
It doesn't look because it's in the middle of nowhere. Like. There's nothing kind of to it. It's just not a friend of mine went to see Sandman. I think he went to a game down there and he said it's a nothing stadium. but it's in Landover, Maryland. So of course Maryland was getting that money, and then it was forced to go back to the original RFK, and Trump wants his name on it, so it's going to be the Trump Dome.
I wonder. Well, that's a conversation for another time. Um, let's talk about this real quick. A question that comes up every round, every year in the playoffs. You have a 12-5 Rams team has to come across the country to an 8-9 Carolina team to play their game on Saturday morning. Excuse me, Saturday afternoon at 4:30. Should the NFL look into changing this, Miguel? I say no.
I mean, I guess not, because it is, if you win your division, yeah, you earn the home game. I get it, but I mean, I don't see what the problem is. Also, I mean, you're reseeding anyway. You know what I mean? So
Right.
they get one. And what was it the year we won last year? We weren't the 1 seed last year, correct?
2 seed. We're the 2 seed last year.
So technically, if the Rams would have lost their game, I can't remember who they were playing, but we would have been the road team there. And who do we play in the championship? DC?
No. No, we wouldn't have been the road team. No.
Yeah, we
I
would have,
forgot
because
who the Rams played, but I think they played the Bucks.
you're right. It was DC played Detroit, and I think they upset Detroit, so we would have gone up to Detroit. That's what it was.
Oh, wait a minute. Did DC play Detroit?
Yeah, they played the Lions. They lost. I thought they
I'm
lost.
sorry. Did DC play the Bucks first round? I'm trying to
It
think.
either way, the Eagles played their one home game that they should have gotten, but the next 2 games should have been road games based on they were basically upsets.
Based on the record, are you saying?
Right. If they would have reseeded, we would have had to travel, because
No. I
That's
think
what
you're
I
thinking of a different year. We were the 2 seed last year. The only team we would have had to travel to was Detroit. Detroit
Okay.
was the 1 seed.
Maybe it was the year. Maybe it was the other Super Bowl year.
There were other years where we got very fortunate and ended up having all home games.
Right.
But yeah, last year was yeah, but I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who DC played in that first round. Might have been, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think they need to change. Like you said, you win your division. If you're a division champion, you shouldn't have to go on the road on the first week of the playoffs, first round of the playoffs, however you want to look at it. And I feel like I get the argument. Like the Rams were a game away from being able to play for the 1 seed, and then they had to travel. But that's just, you got to win your division. And of course, if I was in the Rams seat, I'd probably be a little mad about it too. But look, man, you had a great season. You're having a great season. You just didn't win. You had a tough division. Now, do you feel like you need to be rewarded because you played in a tougher division? I mean,
well, and then there's the other argument of, there was a couple years where I think this happened to the Patriots one. You remember they went like 12-4 or 11-5 and missed the playoffs because they weren't the division champion, but a team with a lower record got it because they were the division champions. Because then you run into the conundrum. Well, if you're going by record, then you're not going to have anybody representing that division in the playoffs. Right. So that's why I don't know if you can do that.
You can do it. You just have the team with the better record be the home team. That's all, and have the champion travel. Which,
but I mean, it's a division. It's a division title. It's not
right.
You know,
here's the thing: you take care of business in your division. You're not getting rewarded for playing in a better division. This is not college. You don't get points for being in the SEC because all the recruits are coming to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that. I don't like that either, to be honest. Even in college, I don't like that either. Yeah, they're playing tougher games, okay, but they lost to, and you're still having. Never mind. I'm not going to get into that. But it's professional sports. You know what you got to do. You got to win your division. Win your division, you ain't got to worry about it.
Sounds simple enough.
Plain and simple. Real quick, I'm just gonna go down the because Miguel got some videos for y'all. I'm gonna go down the playoff schedule so y'all know exactly what y'all want to see and where y'all want to see. There's a Monday night game too. I do not like them doing the Monday night game in playoffs. I don't like it. I don't like it because that team now has to be on a short week.
Right.
And they're probably going to play the 1 seed, right? Maybe, I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, they could play the 1 seed who has a bye. So not only they play on a short week, they play a team that had the bye. But anyway, let's go through the schedule. First game on the slate for Saturday, the 10th, Saturday, January 10th, is at 4:30 on Fox. It's the Rams traveling to the Panthers, the 5-seeded Rams traveling to the Panthers, NFC. Second game on January 10th will be the Green Bay Packers. The Packers of Green Bay, 7-seed Packers of Green Bay will be traveling to Chicago, the number 2 seed, play at 8:15 on Prime Video. And let me say I agree with Charles Barkley, but I'll get back to that later. Sunday, January 11th, the Buffalo Bills, 6 seed. Damn, the Buffalo Bills dropped to a 6 seed. 6 seed, the Buffalo Bills go to Jacksonville Jaguars, who almost had the 1 seed themselves. At 1 o'clock on Sunday on CBS. And on Sunday, January 11th, again, San Francisco at Philly, 4:30 on Fox. Sunday again, the LA Chargers travel to the New England Patriots. So you got 2 West Coast teams having to go east. Woo-wee! Enjoy that, y'all. The LA Chargers go to New England at 8:15 on NBC/Peacock. And Monday night's game will be the Houston Texans, 5-seeded Houston Texans with the number 1 ranked defense. Will travel they got to travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers at 8:15 on ESPN ABC. So that is our playoff schedule.
And they reseed, correct?
Yes, they do reseed. Yes,
Okay.
they do reseed.
Based on I was looking.
I'm sorry.
I was looking at the brackets, and it looked like of Buffalo and Jacksonville will go to Denver, but it's just the way it's laid out. It's not necessarily true. But if they reseed, then it doesn't matter. Okay, I was
so Denver will end up playing the lowest remaining seed, right?
Right.
Which would be it could be Buffalo, or it could be LA, or it could be Houston.
Right.
It could be one of those 3 teams.
But either way, they haven't determined the dates, so they usually do that once the games are done.
Right. Or it could be Pittsburgh. They could. Why? As the 1 seed, you really have no idea who you might play next week.
Right.
You can play anybody, except for the number 2 and the number 3 seed. Miguel has some videos he wants to share with us. And while he's getting that together, I want to let you guys know that I've started a new podcast, new show called Here's the Thing. And basically what it is me talking to you about some very common things that we tend to do in this world all the time. And I'm just giving you my perspective on those things. So definitely check it out. Go over to the New Twist Radio YouTube channel. You can check out the first 2 episodes of Here's the Thing with featuring myself right there on the new YouTube channel, New Twist Radio. And then, of course, if you're here for the first time, hit that subscribe button and tell your friends to come and join us as well. All right. So this first video, Do we need an introduction or I'm just playing?
The first couple videos are about pain and anguish in sports, which is your favorite thing. The first two are the kids because you love seeing the pain out of kids. That's it.
Missed the whole thing. Or at least I did. It was blank on my side. Go back.
Right here.
First.
Oh! Come here! Come here!
I didn't see that one either. I hope everybody else is.
You can hear it, but you can't see it.
Yeah, it keeps.
All right, let me do this. You saw the first one. You need to see the second.
I didn't see the first one. Any of them. Go chapter. Missed it again. But I
Oh! Come here! Come here!
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
All right. This is the first. You seen the first one?
No.
All right.
Trying to run a little end-around pass with A.J. Wilson. A count against the three-man rush. Defended well. He lost his helmet. Yikes. My goodness. Antonio Patterson came up.
Now this quarterback is going to be a gamer.
Saw that video. I grabbed that kid. Ass.
This will be the last one. Just simply titled "The Worst Buzzer Beater Ever."
Oh.
What'd you say?
I said, can I see that last one again?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, it didn't work all that great on my side, but I don't know if it's just me or not. I'm not gonna put us through that again. But good job on those. That was kids jacked themselves up, boy. That was funny. That quarterback got lit up too. Miguel's not going to be stumping me today. We said, to start off 2026, we're not going to start off on a note to where we torture you guys with me trying to figure out who somebody is. We're not going to torture you with that today. But we do want to say thank you to everybody who has checked us out over the last few years. I feel like we've been doing this a few years now, right, Miguel?
Yes, sir. We started in 21.
Yeah. Wow, 21?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, we've been doing this for 4 years. We're on our fifth season.
Yeah, we need to we got to compile all of our bloopers.
Yeah, it'd take forever. All the times I messed up on this thing. Excuse me. Look, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast with myself and of course Coach Miguel down there.
Baltimore having big fun.
See, I always mess stuff up.
Scared the crap out of me.
Coach Miguel down in
Baltimore having big fun.
Absolutely. We appreciate y'all hanging with us. We will check y'all next week. Hopefully it will be a victory Wednesday. And hopefully it'll be a victory Wednesday and we get to talk about how the birds are sailing into the round 2. We really don't care who we play in round 2. We just gotta take care of round 1 first. We don't care if it's the Packers or the Bears. We don't care. I actually want that Bears rematch, even though they manhandled us the first time. Pause. I want that rematch. With that being said, any last words, Miguel, before we get out of here?
Go Birds.
Go Birds. He said it best. Go Birds. We'll talk to y'all next week here on the Check Swing Podcast. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all for loving us. Talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Until we meet again.